Well, hello there, everyone. You have right here talking about for Jade Bird right here, and talking about and you bet on me like so far as a lottery, and you like have right here of I went and worked some Photoshop work right here of talking about with the guitar right here, and this right here sounds a little bit like maybe like a romantic source of connection right here, but I know last time I was showing everybody about that, for the details about, about the lips and all that, but then also about the guitar right here, that some of the Photoshop work right here that I went and added for the guitar. But still though, that any sorts of colors and highlights, for the background also, but then also that in case if we're like one or two that what does it usually mean whenever we buy a lottery ticket, and let's just say that I guess if the song kind of goes by is to where that you're betting on me for who's the winner, or if it's about if you are a winner, then you would be able to buy my I'm like, yeah, for our next night out or something like that. So if it's supposed to be about a way of how two couples, like how people connect, and let's just say if it was that that the lady was 22, and then the guy was 23 or something like that, and it used to say that love is a lottery, that, and then you betting on me, like I say, or it could, in case of anybody that may ask, is that, yeah, if it's betting on me, or if it's you counting on me, like say, yeah, well, it seems like the lady would maybe ask the gentleman to where that you're counting on them, to give them answer the next time, counting on them, but just think about it, that, yeah, if the lady were to ask the gentleman about, hey, that, I bet, I say if you are the winner, then you can go and pay for the meal for the next time or something like that. But anyway, but this right here actually shows right here that this person right here was a gentleman right here. And let's just say if you're going to be in the coffee shop, and let's just say that a man were to be buying a lottery ticket just because that, like, yeah, but how many of us are going to be betting on a lottery ticket? Just it's like you buy just for $1, and how many of us have had that happen to us? Will we even buy cotton candy? We buy cotton candy, and then maybe if there's like a little sticker, like if there's a label on the bottom of that container of cotton candy, and find out that that's supposed to be what you call like a drawing, and drawing to where that if you would actually win something necessarily, and but still, but you have right here, talk about say with the gentleman right here, this gentleman right here that going in there and he buys a lottery ticket, and knowing about yeah, for about. Really, how many of us will maybe say that a betting game, a betting game is not recommended? And if it's not really not recommended for love, or if it's not recommended for that moment of time. But, so it's like, say, talk about writing a song about, but still, whenever I was listening to the radio, I heard this song a couple times, and, about maybe, 5, maybe 8 times, in a row, and, whenever you, listen to the song, though, that for whatever reason it's going, what is it necessarily going to remind you of necessarily? Does it remind you of anything about what you call connection, or does it yeah, and at the time, in case of anybody that may warrant to were that at this if this song is supposed to be related to a lottery ticket, but still, Jade Bird, and at the time I wanted to that with the lottery ticket right here, I have one right here for the St. Louis Cardinals. So in case anybody say, yeah, that St. Louis Cardinals, I'm like, yeah, the Blue Jays, or any sorts of team like that, and you likely say too, is that yeah, that if you give them wings, but still that any sorts of lottery ticket, that let's just say that if it's a game of maybe blackjack or some other game like that, and then the winning numbers, and then your cards numbers displayed right there, and so yeah, that so I know that about how many of us have been at to where that they've been to the casino, and then whenever they go to the casino, then they're gonna say that then that's you wind up spending maybe a little bit more money, and then maybe only winning just a little bit. But you have right here, I'll go ahead and sketch right here a little bit with the pen, and I want to show everybody here about this right here, that even though if it is black and white, then you can just do like we could just take a few moments to just kind of put in like some blending shadows right here for, you know, if this was right here was supposed to be like a skirt or something like that the lady's wearing. But yeah, that, you know, you're like to say that whenever you're going to be playing at the lottery, then at the time that okay, you know, like say if it's betting about who wins and who loses. But still though, that you know, whenever it goes by us toward about how many of us have been, you know, to where we've gotten into an argument a couple of times, and like knowing about who's going to win and who's going to lose. But you have right here, I'll go ahead and draw right here an example right here of a cardinal. So in case of anybody that say that, you know, if you're going to be buying a lottery ticket, maybe, you know, yeah, like a little flower design. I'm like, in case of anybody say, yeah, well, lottery tickets, are those about similar to like maybe the greeting cards? If you're in the Hallmark store getting a greeting card and you're picking up something for somebody, and as you pick it up for a greeting card, and you know, you might run into this greeting card that says, you know, hello precious or something like that. Yeah. And in case of anybody that may want to word it, you know, do we really need a talking lottery ticket? But still, that knowing about, you know, who's the winner, yeah, who's the winner during the ball game or something like that. But Jade Bird right here. But you have right here that whenever we buy a lottery ticket, that sometimes it seems like it's all about, you know, the test of the matter. But with this test, it could also be about is that you know, who's going to win the love of some source of kind. Like, yeah. Whenever you play, yeah, they all say it's just a game, you know, if you win or lose, but still, but let's just say that how many of us have managed it to where if we came up to a time, so let's just say that if you do get a winning ticket, and let's just say that both cards say, you know, like, yeah, if it's supposed to be a tie, and, you know, exactly about, we're up those moments as toward it, there's two tickets that say the exact same thing, and so let's just say that you know, if the woman were to approach you, is like say is that you know, I want to get my winning money, my winning ticket is right here, and you know, I won this ticket and I came here first, I got here first, and that's maybe something of what they're going to say too, is that I got here first. But, you know, still, though, that I think really the song goes as by as to where that you used to say that, yeah, love was a lottery. That I'm like, yeah, love is a lottery, or maybe love is a lottery, something like that, something about a lottery ticket. But still, though, that, you know, and let's just say that if the song was maybe related to iced tea or coffee, and you likely learn too that, you know, about what gives it, you know, the extra taste. Is it the sugar, or if it's the lemon or something like that? Something that gives the tea or the coffee a little bit more taste. But in case of anybody that may ask me that, you know, I don't think lemon tastes very good in a coffee. I'm like, I don't think it tastes very good in coffee. You know, lemon. But you have right here, that right there is that, you know, the red bird, and in case of anybody that may want to where that, yeah, I don't have a red color, but you have right here of drawing the, you know, the bird right here, and when I can, you know, do that right here, that I'm like, yeah, that you know, using a pen right here, and I'm like, say, yeah, this pen may still write right here, but yeah, go ahead and color in a little bit right there, or the red right there. So let's just say that, yeah, normally that you would be using a coin to be able to scratch off the lottery numbers on a lottery ticket, but really, I'm like, you know, how many of us would maybe say that, you know, really, that it's nice to be able to, instead of it require, I'm like, yeah, you know, how come you can't use your fingernail to scratch off the, you know, the numbers? And in case of anybody that may wonder to where, how come you just can't take your finger right there and just, you know, scratch off? I'm like, would it work? I'm like, yeah, it's working just a little bit, maybe. Yeah, how come you just can't use your fingernail to scratch off, the winning numbers? I like say, yeah, well, you can maybe do that, but still, that maybe the winning number needs to, be readable through the machine or something. So yeah, you can't say, well, I thought all you needed was a guitar just to be able to read the numbers. A guitar, very funny. A guitar to do what? Or a piano, but the way I think about it too, that yeah, right there's the red bird right there. In case of anybody that may say that you buy a lottery ticket, but from like maybe a particular team or a particular artist, and they'll likely say that yeah, about how many of us are going to really bet $5? I'm like, yeah, chances are that you're going to lose that time. Chances are that you might win this time. But still, though, that whenever we buy a lottery ticket, most of the time that it's like knowing about who's going to win the money, and the way I think about it too, that how many of us would maybe say that that if both of these couples are supposed to be college students, so let's just say if they're in there to buy a lottery ticket just for best of luck, as to where that if you do very well on the history test, yeah, if you do very well on the science test or maybe the math test, and then we'll meet each other next time for an ice cream, or maybe for an iced tea or for a coffee. But still, though, that so in case of anybody that may want where they have right here is these numbers right here. So what's the best luckiest number to be called for like for a winner? And sometimes it seems like that the numbers go by between maybe even one may be the lowest number, but let's just say that if 1 is supposed to be like one of the luckiest numbers as toward the chances of winning or losing, and then it could maybe be 9, but still, though, that looking at this lottery ticket right here, we can see that right there, the readable labels right here, but reveal a glove and then double the prizes, double the prize if you receive your doubles, and then so yeah, that anything on a lottery ticket, double the engagement ring. In case of anybody that may say that if you come to those moments as to where that double the engagement ring. So let's just say that if this was a lottery ticket that was related to romance, and let's just say that if you reveal a symbol, kind of like this right here, if you're at a restaurant, reveal a symbol like that right there, and then it would say about reveal this on the scratch off, and then you would that about maybe. If we're going to be going to maybe one of those restaurants, and maybe that if there's a ticket that's pulled and printed, and knowing about that, somebody bets, money in, but then maybe at their second round, and then they go ahead and say that they'll go ahead and pay for part of the engagement, or I'm like, yeah, if this is supposed to be like a game, and in case of anybody that may wonder to where, yeah, I don't think that Jade Bird is really referring to any sort of game in the matter, but maybe about like a connection in a relationship. So and so it's like they say is to where that you do this painting right here, the guitar right here, and it's like you used to say that love was a lottery, that, and then now you count on me, and you're betting on me. I guess you say the lyrics is like we go by, it's like you're betting on me, but anyway, so how often really that would it really make any sense as to where if you say that if you're counting on somebody, but really if you're betting on them, but still, though, that and now you're betting on me, and the way I think about it too, that whenever you bet something, does that basically means like you take your chances of winning or losing, but if it's just really for fun. But really, that sounds a little bit like, to me, maybe like that if you're going to be betting on a kiss. And how many of us have really betted on a kiss? Yeah, in case if that person wins, then you're going to have to kiss them. How many of us have bet on a kiss to where that, you won't have to kiss him, you won't have to kiss, the bride, you won't have to kiss this person unless if they win. So in case of anybody that may wonder to where that, yeah, oh no, you're not going to put your lips on my cheeks. You're not going to put your lips on my cheeks. Because but, anyway, yeah, betting on a kiss, I say, yeah, well, if that person wins, that it's like the chances are that you got to kiss them. And then this time, make it nice and polite, but, still. So it's like, yeah, that, so whenever, in case of anybody that may say is that take your chances of winning or losing, but also that if we can ask that question before to where how do we handle that to where that if you're kissed by somebody that you don't even know, I'm like, yeah, you don't know that person very well, and I like to say if you bet by a kiss or something like that, but anyway, we'll talk about right here for like Jade Bird right here, the winning ticket. And I was also thinking too about wings. It's like who said anything about wings? But still, like for the bird right here. So you have right here is for the Cardinals bird right here, and let's just say that this was a ticket for like for like a game to where like round 1 and round 2, but so in case of anybody that may ask, is that whenever you buy a lottery ticket, that there's really no rules about, to where that you have to skip line 1 and 2. And let's just say that, yeah, in case of anybody that may ask, can you really cheat on a lottery ticket? Can you really? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. In case of anybody that may say that if you try printing it in your own ink or something like that, then I guess that would be called cheating. But still, though, that, the ways of how we want to play the lottery right here, whenever you buy a lottery ticket, knowing about what you're going to be betting on. But still, that talk about for love, though. I heard that before to where that if you're going to be buying a lottery ticket, and then you're going to be buying it for somebody, and I like to say that's something that maybe that you'd like to tell them also. I'm like, yeah, that, if you would like to, hang out, and then you'll play the lottery ticket and see if we win anything, but as far as I know, I thought a lottery ticket was just one player. So let's just say if you do buy 2 tickets, and I guess, yeah, maybe the song kind of goes by that. If you had 2 tickets, and then there's 2 people that are playing, and one of those players that reveals, the winning number, and then the other person comes close to winning, but then they wind up losing, or so yeah. If it's 2 tickets, there's 1 ticket for each person or something. But really, the odds that go by is that whenever you're going to be buying a lottery ticket, that really that you come up to those moments as to where that if you're a winner, then yeah, I'd like to talk to you about something, or it could be something that is related to like yeah, in order for this person yeah, walking into somewhere, and then you go in there to buy it, maybe a coffee, or if you're going to buy a lottery ticket, and then that person's going to maybe talk to you just because of like yeah, but how many lottery tickets do you think that are sold within that store, say, beyond the state? And just thinking about is that you get a lottery ticket, and then you look at the winning numbers, and then you're also like thinking this too, is that whenever you're going to be talking about maybe tickets with sound, with audio, and like want to know about the winning number, but I can tell anybody here that whenever I would buy a lottery ticket, then sometimes you scratch off a few of the numbers, and then it's like, say, if it's a winning ticket, or if it's a losing ticket. But I can say too is that that one, yeah, it was on a bingo card. Yeah, it was on a bingo actually. That I about that yeah, they have to if you, I guess you have to collect so many tickets, just for, just to earn points in a matter on the web, from the websites. But still, that one time that I about almost tore up a ticket, because I usually tear them up, if they're a losing ticket. But still, that I remember that I about almost tore up a lottery ticket because I thought it was a losing ticket. So in case of anybody that may say that, yeah, that the good chances of that this ticket is going to be a winning ticket. But so far as the song goes by, is to where that you used to say that love is a lottery. I'm like, yeah, I think love is like so far as, and now you're betting on me. but so far as with the song that goes by, that is that you show right here is the lady with the guitar, and then that knowing about with the bird singing. But yeah, right there's a microphone right there, and then the piano. But still though that whenever you're going to be betting on something, and half the time, if it's about who's right and who's wrong, or just what you call just for like yeah, if it's a game of cards or something like that, then I guess it's basically like showing your connection of partners. I guess yeah. So I guess in case of anybody that may say that whenever you're going to be playing a game, then I guess you want prizes to be included. You want prizes, and but still though that. In case of anybody that may wonder as to where that should be a prize about love, or about maybe some other situation like that. But there you have it. I talk about say with the couples right here, and knowing about for bets, and then so far as you used to say that but anyway, but I know that the music video would last for about 3 minutes or so, but still, you have right there is like with the look right there at the guitar, and but anyway, thanks for watching everyone, and have a great day.